Orion is getting ready to launch. We are headed 3,600 miles above Earth, 15 times higher from the planet than the International Space Station. As we get further away from Earth, we'll pass through the Van Allen belts, an area of dangerous radiation. Radiation like this could harm the guidance systems, onboard computers, or other electronics on Orion. Naturally, we have to pass through this danger zone twice, once up and once back. But Orion has protection. Shielding will be put to the test as the vehicle cuts through the waves of radiation. Sensors aboard will record radiation levels for scientists to study. We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space. We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space. We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space. We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space.
And what comes after the International Space Station once its mission is over? How do we ensure the presence of humans in space?
Well, that's a great question. The plan that NASA has is to build a rocket called SLS, which is a heavy lift rocket. It's something that is much bigger than what we have today, and it will be able to launch the Orion capsule with humans on board, as well as landers or other components to destinations beyond Earth orbit. Right now, we only can fly in Earth orbit. That's the farthest that we can go. And this new system that we're building is going to allow us to go beyond and hopefully take humans into the solar system to explore. So the moon, Mars, asteroids, there's a lot of destinations that we could go to, and we're building these building block components in order to allow us to do that eventually. So the moon, Mars, asteroids, there's a lot of destinations that we could go to. So the moon, Mars, asteroids, there's a lot of destinations that we could go to. So the moon, Mars, asteroids, there's a lot of destinations that we could go to.
The backpacks, designed for 1/6 gravity, must have had the cooling systems removed to allow for movement without falling over. With very near and hot studio lighting, that left one hot astronaut inside. Assuming that it was the astronauts inside after all, their faces were always covered. The necessary mammoth amounts of air conditioning were probably responsible for the air current. Here the editor cuts to a still shot of the flag, just as the effect becomes noticeable. Here it is unchecked. This rare clip, attained decades ago, was never re-released with the inevitable increase in experience and scrutiny. To demonstrate 1/6 gravity, a bouncy, floaty feel to the astronauts' movements would be similarly achieved with relative simplicity. Slow motion. You are viewing the scenes as they aired more than 30 years ago. Now let's look at them with the speed doubled. It becomes discernible that they are, in fact, in Earth's gravity, and are no more leaving the ground than they would on Earth.
Hello, we are going to be discussing this door mainly. Do you see this door? This door there. Oh, it bend. Did you see? Look, bend. He kick it with his heels. Bend. Bend. It's not a trick of the light. It bend. Bend. Ah, there they are coming out. And there is the door. Oh, they look like horrible maggots coming out of a not very delicious fruit. There is the door. This is a bend. It's a bending. Look. Oh, this is really, really bad bending. This is not metal. What is this? Why this door open out? All the pressure is inside. Shouldn't the door close out, not open out? Ah, look, it's closed now, it's secure. It looks very strong. Oh, you know the astronaut is now thinking, move out of the way, they are rolling. You stupid. I have got to carry this box and come through here. Move out of the way. I saw you talking with my girlfriend. Oh, look. It's a bouncy, 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 bouncy. Hi, bouncy, bouncy, the door. Bouncy, bouncy.
Houston, we see you on the steerable, over.
Roger, Eagle, contact.
Roger, how does it look?
The Eagle has wings.
Roger.
The Eagle has wings. On its own now, but with Columbia near at hand, it coasted around to the backside of the moon, and there, while out of direct communication with the Earth, it fired its engine to slow its descent to a touchdown on the near side of the moon. Collins and Columbia continued in orbit, awaiting their return.
Okay, all flight controllers, go for landing. Retro, go. Fido, go. Guide, go. Control, go. Telcom, go. GNC, go. Econ, go. Surgeon, go. Capcom, we're go for landing. Altitude 4200. Figure, go for landing, over. Roger, understand, go for landing, 3,000 feet. You're looking great. How you doing, Control? We look good here, fine. How about you, Telcom? Go. Guidance, you happy? Go. Fido, go. 2,000 feet, 2,000 feet. Into the ag, 47 degrees. Roger. 37 degrees. Still looking very good. Your go. Not alarm. 1201. 1201. Roger, 1201 alarm. 1201 alarm. Same time, we're go, flight. Okay, we're go. We're go. Same time, we're go. Altitude 1600. Eagle looking great. Roger, 1202, we copy it. 35 degrees, 750. Coming down to 23. 540 feet at a 15. 1050 feet down at 4. Altitude, velocity, light. 3.5 down, 220 feet. 11 forward, coming down nicely, 200 feet. 4.5 down, 5.5 down. 100 feet, 3.5 down, 9 forward. Okay, 75 feet. Guys looking good, down a half. 6 forward. 60 seconds. Lights on. Forward. Forward. 20 feet down, 2.5. Picking up some dust. Make shadow. 4 forward, drift into the right a little. 30 seconds. Forward. Contact light. Okay, engine stop.
let's use this model of the Earth. And let's enlist the help of a friend, Patsy. You might know her.
So what is significant about this video is, number one, it was live to school children. Number two, we have this stuffed animal that is transitioning in on another video channel. And the actor is able to reach up and grab this doll in real 3D space and manipulate this doll with their hands. And so the only way you're going to pull that off is with one technology. And that technology is virtual reality. More importantly, though, something called augmented virtual reality. Now, before 2012, NASA used masking techniques much like we do in Photoshop and After Effects. But now we're able to simulate water and objects live in real 3D space. So we're able to take models of things that are photorealistic and rotate and move them while we are going live. Before, we used to have to render these effects frame by frame by frame, and it took extremely long amounts of time. In this video here I made last year, I'm using Sony Vegas, and I was just playing around with the masking capabilities of Sony Vegas. I don't even know why I saved this video, but here I'm standing in the kitchen and I'm just lifting up this trash can to make it kind of look like it's floating. And I didn't do a lot of work on this. It was just something I wanted to see real quick. But that is a masking effect to get another effect. We now have the technology to simulate water, materials, fabrics live in real 3D space with virtual reality, but better yet, augmented virtual reality. And all augmented virtual reality is taking the objects in 3D space from a virtual reality world and putting them in our world on another screen, which we can see, manipulate, and touch with virtual reality contacts or glasses. In this next segment, I'm going to show you how NASA grabs objects in 3D space, rotates them around, manipulates them. They can do this with water, with cloth, anything. And the cool thing about it is we can take what they're doing, what they're seeing with their contact virtual reality augmented lenses, and put that on a separate video layer live. Yes, live, and do it all in real time. So I'm going to show you what it looks like to them as they're grabbing objects and manipulating them. And then I'm going to show you Microsoft's HoloSense video, their demonstration at E3 a couple years ago, of bringing a virtual reality into our world. And it is simply amazing. Okay, so this is one of NASA's older videos where they use post-processing and masks. This is a video layer mask in augmented virtual reality. We're going to see him lose his finger here. The watch glitches out. So I guess virtual reality accidents can cause loss of fingers. In this next video, we have Caddy. Now I want you to pay attention to her neck and the way her neckline goes into her shirt. It's cut off. And the necklace. Apparently they wanted to show how cool this necklace looked. Unfortunately, it's not perfect. The necklace goes in and out of her shirt unnaturally, and her neck glitches in several places. I literally spent hours going after probably 30 or 40 videos, probably had approximately 45 minutes straight of NASA messing up their virtual reality setup. I tried to pick some clips that were obvious and some not so obvious. Show you some of the contacts. We're going to see Tim Peake with his contacts in, but these are virtual reality contacts overlaid on the eyes so actors can interact with things in 3D space, all in real time. In this next shot, we will get to see the whole arm setup and the virtual reality glove that covers all the way down the arm and hand. This allows the software to broadcast what we see video-wise as his arm in a shirt sleeve. Okay, I have a lot of Tim Peake screw-ups, but this one here, the system glitches. The software does not track his hand properly, and Tim slips his hand underneath his other fingers, which is tightly holding onto the mic, which would be impossible. I don't think this is Tim's fault. Normally, Tim always moves his other fingers up while he slides his hand under. I just think the system didn't respond to his movements here. This picture here is actually Tim's fault. His hand breaches the 3D mic floating in front of him. In this next clip, we're going to see Tim's arms glitch out as he's manipulating a 3D bubble. Now, this bubble can be done in real time now. We have the technology to do that, which I showed you at the beginning of this. And this bubble is environmentally lit, or HDRI lit, by its environment, which means the bubble can take up its reflections and refractions as it moves around in 3D space in Tim's augmented reality. Once again, augmented VR just means bringing the 3D objects into our world on a separate monitor. In this last clip, we're going to see NASA royally screw up. It's a live broadcast, and one of their video channels is off, not working. That's the channel that is supposed to show us, the public, what the astronauts are seeing in virtual reality. Also, the channel shut off is the masking for the guy on the wires in the background. You can't make this stuff up. Just watch. We all know NASA uses wires, and sometimes we'll catch them like this here. The guy pulled on his wire. However, some days when you're filming live, things just don't work out, and it becomes so blatantly obvious, it's ridiculous. So in this clip, they're talking live feed, and we have a astronaut go by us in the background, obviously trying to give it a more realistic, spacey, station busy effect. The only problem is the camera that was supposed to mask this harness out, or the video feed, is not working. And so we see the guy come flying along in a harness on his wires. Pretty amazing. But that's not all that goes wrong here. Okay, so you see to the right, this guy's flipping this hat. This hat's actually on another video channel in 3D space. It's virtual reality. They're wearing augmented contact lenses so that they can interact with these 3D objects. Now, in this scene, the guy on the left in the green shirt, he thinks he sees an object in 3D space that's being broadcast to him. So he grabs it and he puts it off to the side. He's looking straight ahead because he's looking at an object rotating in front of him, but the video channel is down that is supposed to show the viewers what we're supposed to see, and so we don't actually get to see the object that he is seeing. And I would just sum this up as a very terrible, bad, horrible day for NASA doing live feeds. Hey, Tim, you still there? Yeah. Can you explain to us what this astronaut's going through as he sees something with his eyes in 3D space, but it's not actually there being broadcast to the public? What's going through this astronaut's mind?
This system is sending signals to the brain that doesn't really match your eyes, and so your brain's trying to work out the two differences. Here's the thing.
As much fun as this was, there is a time coming when you and I will not be able to tell the difference, and space has not changed. Technology to fake space has gotten better. Just because Adobe gets a massive update to Photoshop or After Effects, or there's a massive update at telemetrics and the virtual reality, augmented virtual reality programming, that does not advance us magically 20 years in space. Space has not changed. It's flat. It's above us. It's dimensional, and we cannot orbit Earth. You have been warned. This is very serious stuff, and if you do not get it now, you won't get it later, because later you won't know the difference. This is Mike. God bless everybody. Please like and please subscribe.
Nice to meet you. Good, how are you? Pleasure to meet you, sir. Welcome to MCC.
Thank you.
Awesome.
That's also a cupola, which is one of the windows we have. And that's a picture. Watch me. Hello. Been here once before. Hello. Been here once before.
Chroma key means you can use any background that you like. This is what the background looks like. This is the true background that we filmed this on. With chroma key, it means you can have any background that you like this, or maybe this, or maybe this.
It is a real honor to be able to touch base with the International Space Station, and that's what we're doing right now, visiting with Commander Shane Kimbrough, Commander on the International Space Station. Commander, thanks so much for some of your time.
And all of that happened in a little town called York, Maine, across the United States from where we're talking to you right now. And all of that happened in a little town called York, Maine, across the United States from where we're talking to you right now. And all of that happened in a little town called York, Maine, across the United States from where we're talking to you right now.
Hello, my name is Steve Owen. I'm a teacher here at Riverside Prep. I'd like to ask you about the stress associated with the long periods in the space station. I'd like to ask Karen, what is the training that you get to cope with that stress and related psychological issues?
Well, for psychological issues, actually, when we are...
I'm Don Pettit. I'm a NASA astronaut, and I'm on the International Space Station. We're currently about 240 nautical miles above the surface of Earth. Space Station is a serious place. We're doing serious research, scientific research and engineering research. We have a regenerative life support system, which is a fancy way of saying that we've got a toilet that you use and then a machine that goes chugga, 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 chug, and then you go to the galley and you make yourself a cup of coffee. And that's exactly what you are thinking it is. And this is the kind of engineering research that we're doing on Space Station. It's needed.
NASA urine recycler, test 1, sample 1. It's the first water we've got out of the machine. This will allow astronauts to recycle their urine and sweat into beautiful, clean, clear drinking water. First sample, transparency, subpar. Oh, that's just piss. That's just straight up piss. Smell, urine-y, and damn it! Oh, that's piss. I don't know why I have to drink it. It's piss. It's yellow. That's piss all the way down to the bottom. Results have not been promising. Edison, you know, it took him like thousands of tries to find the right filament for a light bulb. And maybe we're being idiots, or maybe we're... that's piss! Let's just see who drinks it. I'm not gonna drink it. I can sit here all fucking day. You drink it! Do we even have a machine? Are we just pissing into this bottle? That would go great with a cheeseburger if you like drinking piss with your cheeseburger. Hey, that's not bad. Like a glass of water that a friend pissed a little bit into. We made water! Somebody give me a glass of piss! I want to celebrate!
it. I'll give you a trial and I'll show you just how bad it is. Practice makes perfect.
Welcome to the NASA Clown Show. How are your backflip skills, man?
I definitely haven't mastered it. I'll give you a trial and I'll show you just how bad it is. Practice makes perfect. I definitely haven't mastered it. I'll give you a trial and I'll show you just how bad it is. Practice makes perfect. Practice makes perfect. I definitely haven't mastered it. I'll give you a trial and I'll show you just how bad it is.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.